You probably know this situation. You just finished and deployed your last model changes of your data warehouse, migrated all the data. When your customer comes with some new change requests, the users have some additional business requirements. With Data Vault modeling, you can handle such situations. Data Vault is a method that is very convenient for data modeling in agile data warehouses. To show this approach, let's have a look at the small but nice use case, a microbrewery. A microbrewery is brewing beer in small batches. Many craft beer brewers like me don't have a sophisticated business concept, they just brew beer for fun. After a while, they realize that there are more things to do than just brewing and tasting beer. So, beer brewing is a very agile hobby. The main product of a brewery is beer. Each kind of beer has a unique name, a beer style, a description, percentage of alcohol, a bitter unit, color, and so on. In Data Vault, we create a hub beer with a unique business key, in this case the name of the beer. All other descriptive attributes are stored in a satellite called beer description. To brew a beer, we need a recipe. It contains the ingredients, temperatures, and duration of the different brew steps. Because a recipe belongs to one beer, it is stored in another satellite and attached to the beer hub. Producing a beer batch is about 6 hours of work and is called a brew. In one brew, we can make 50 or 100 liters of beer. All the steps are logged in a brew journal. After 1 day of brewing, the beer must ferment and mature for a couple of weeks. This is the hardest part of the brewing process because it needs a lot of patience. Let's use this time to extend our Data Vault model. We create a new hub brew with a satellite journal. Although there is a one-to-many relationship between a beer and a brew, this is not the way how relationships are modeled in Data Vault. Relationships between hubs are implemented with an additional table type, a link. This makes it easier to extend the model without changing any existing tables. When the beer is ready, we can fill it into bottles, a relaxing but time-consuming job. In one bottling batch, a keg of a specific brew is filled into a number of bottles. Each bottle gets a label and, very important, a best before date. This we must declare by law to identify the brew for traceability. So we can also use it as a business key for our bottling batch. Let's extend our Data Vault model again. We create a new hub bottling. The business key is the combination of the beer name and the best before date. Additional information such as the number of bottles is stored in a satellite. Because each bottling is done for a keg of one specific brew batch, we can create a relationship between a brew and a bottling batch. Once again, direct relationships between hubs are not allowed in Data Vault. We always create a link between the hubs. One day we realized that we are not able to drink all our beers ourselves. So we were looking for customers who buy our beer. A customer may be a private person, a shop, or a beer bar. The address and all additional information about the customer are stored in 2 satellites attached to a new hub customer. A customer orders a selection of different beers. Each type of beer has an individual price. Orders and order items are typically separate hubs in a Data Vault model connected with a link. The order is connected to the customer with another link. Each type of beer is a separate order item. The delivery date, the number of bottles, the price per bottle, and the total price are stored in a satellite attached to the order line. The customer gets an invoice. Total amount, invoice and payment date are stored in a satellite that belongs to the order hub. To make sure that we always have enough malt for the next brew, we want to extend our data warehouse with information from the malt warehouse. Because each beer recipe needs a different combination of malts, we have to carefully monitor our malt stock. For each beer, we need an individual composition of malts. The information what type of malts are used for one beer recipe can be stored in a link between beer and malt. But where do we store the exact portion of each malt? Instead of creating a new hub for this, it is possible to attach satellites directly to a link. Not everybody likes this concept, but it is a common approach in data vault modeling. Let's assume we have different malt brands that are similar in style and can be used for the same recipe. In this case, we can create a special link called a same as link or SAL. It is used to define which malts are equivalent and can be used instead of another malt brand in a recipe. A same as link always has two relationships to the same hop. All these model changes were easy to add to the existing data model. Is our data vault model now finished? Hopefully not, then the next change requests will coming soon. But first, let's brew another beer.